You're welcome to the Leinster GAA Championship draws for 2016 on the senior. The Air Grade Leinster Under 21 Football Championship will now take place, and we will call the first 7 counties that are involved in round 1. The four counties of Meath, Dublin, Kildare and Westmeath have applied to the second round. They were the 4 minor semi-finalists of 2013. So for round 1, the following teams go into the draw: Carlow, Laois, Longford, Louth, Offaly, Wexford and Wicklow. Chairman of Leinster Council John Horn will pull the first team, Jim Bulger Vice Chairman the second team. So for game number 1, the Air Grade Under 21 Leinster Championship 2016. Kilwanton Wicklow versus Catherlock Carlow. Game number 2, Lochgarman Wexford versus Longford. And game number 3, Louth
Laois
versus Laois. That completes round 1 with 3 games. Now for the quarterfinals, they will be joined by Westmeath, Kildare, Dublin, Meath and games 1, 2 and 3. And the draw goes right through to semi-finals. So as they come, the draw for the semi-finals also takes place. In other words, games 4 and 5, the winners of that will play in the semi-final, and games 6 and 7. So the first team out, first quarter-final, game number 4.
2.
Which is Wexford or Longford.
Irvine
versus Westmeath. Second quarter-final, game number 5. Kildare.
Offaly
versus Offaly. Game number 6.
Liverpool
Louth or Laois
Liverpool
versus number 1, Wicklow or Carlow.
On V.
And the last quarter final on V, Meath versus Dublin. That completes the draw, their Great Leinster Under 21 Football Championship 2016. And now for the next draw of the evening is the Board Got Leinster Under 21 Hurling Championship. There are 8 counties involved in this. 4 quarter-finals, straight draw, and the 8 are Carlow, Dublin, Kildare, Kilkenny, Laois, Offaly, Westmeath and Wexford. Now, Chairman of Leinster Council John Horn pulls the first one, Jim Bulger the second for each draw. So the first quarter-final, Kilkenny versus
Irvine
Westmeath. Clea Dublin
Lochgarman
versus Lochgarman Wexford. Carlow
Laois
versus Laois. And finally,
Kildare
Kildare
versus Foley.
Foley, Offaly. That's the under 21 draw. Kilkenny versus Westmeath, Dublin versus Wexford, Carlow versus Laois, and Kildare versus Offaly. And the semi-finals follows through. That completes the under 21 hurling draw. That takes us now to the Leinster Minor Football Championship. And just to explain, slight variation in this to other draws. The Leinster Minor Football Championship, Kilkenny are at home to either Wicklow or Wexford. So we'll make the draw for that for Wicklow and Wexford, Lochgarman, Kilmonton. So draw one of them to play Kilkenny. Lochgarman. So that's Kilkenny v Lochgarman is game number 1. And the rest of the minor draw we just do the first round of 6 games. So now you've got one of them. So the rest of the other 10 counties now go into the drum. After the round 1, there's a qualifier of which the CCC and officers will make the draws as appropriate. So for game number 2 in the Electric Ireland Leinster Minor Football Championship 2016, Dublin. Versus Offaly. Dublin versus Offaly, game number 2. Game number 3. Kildare. Kilmonton, Wicklow. Game number 4. On V, Meath. Versus Laois. Carlow, game number 5 versus on Lou, Louth. And finally game number 6
on
Year V Westmeath versus Longford. That completes the Electric Ireland Minor Football Championship draw for tonight. As I said earlier, CCC and the officers make the draws as appropriate. Now the Electric Ireland Leinster Minor Hurling Championship draws will now take place. The 2015 Leinster Minor finalists Kilkenny and Dublin are seeded into the next round. That leaves 4 games for 2 teams in Tier 2 and 2 games in Tier 3. Subsequent draws will be done by the Leinster CCC and officers at appropriate time. So we take Tier 2 first, and the 4 counties in Tier 2 are ERV, Westmeath, Laois, Offaly and Lochgarman, Wexford. So we make the draw for Tier 2. Team number 1, which the Leinster chairman, John Horn, will draw now. Lochgarman, Wexford. Versus ERV, Westmeath.
Laois.
And Laois. Versus Offaly. And the next part of the draw is for Tier 3 now. And the counties in Tier 3 are Catherlough, Carlow, Kildare, Kildare, Kilmonton, Wicklow, and on V, Meath. which are games 3 and 4 in the championship. Carlock, Carlow. Kildare, Kildare. Kilmanton, Wicklow. And Fee, Meath. That concludes the draw of the Leinster Minor Hurling Championship for tonight. As we said earlier, CCC and the officers will make the draws appropriately, at the appropriate time, I should say. The Leinster Intermediate Hurling Championship, of which there were 3 teams, and earlier tonight the council agreed that to be on a rota basis for the semi-finals. So for 2016, the Leinster Intermediate Hurling Championship, it's Wexford v Galway, to be played in Portlaoise, with the winners playing Kilkenny. If it's Kilkenny, Galway's Tullamore. If it's Kilkenny, Wexford, it's home and away arrangement. The senior draws are on RT on October the 15th.